Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Shankar Paramahamsa Parivajapacharya Ashtotra Shata Shri Srimad Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Granthiraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya So, I'm just going to wait for the book. I think he, I don't know, now I'm having a hard time remembering. I thought I heard somebody talking to him about that. I don't know. All right, Krishna. I'm just waiting for the book. Or, yeah. Go runs right in the verse.
You're writing it right now and finishing it up. It's
23. What? Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 9, Text 22.
Text 23, Prabhu, right?
I'm sorry?
It's text 23, right, Prabhu?
Oh,
Yeah, 23.
23, okay, sorry.
Right. Drishta Maya Divi Vibho Kila Dishnya Panam Ayu Shriyo Vibhava Ichati Yan Jano Yam Ye Smat Pituhu Kupita Hasa Vijambita Bru Vispurjitena Lulitaha Sa Tu Te Nirastaha Dishta Maya Divi Vibho Kila Dishna Panam Ayushiyo Vibhava Ichati Anjanoyam Yesmat Pitu Kupita Hasa Vijimbita Bru Vispurjitena Lulita Satune Naristaha Dishta Maya Divi Vibho Kila Dishna Panam Ayushiyo Vibhava Ichati Anjanoyam Yesmat Pitu Kupiti Hasa Vijimbita Bru Vispurjitena Lulita Satune Naristaha. I have at the end of the very tute. Oh, tute, tume. Drishta Maya Divi Vibho Kila Dishna Panam Ayushiyo Vibhava Ichati Anjanoyam Yesmat Pitu Kupita Hasa Vijimbita Bru Vispurjitena Lulita Satute Naristaha Dushtaha have been seen practically. Maya, by me. Devi, in the higher planetary systems. Vibho, O my Lord. Akila, all. Dishnya, Param, of the chiefs of different states or planets. Ayu, the duration of life. Shiaha, the opulences. Vibhavaha, glorious influence. Itchati, desire. Yan, all of which. Jana ayam, these people in general. Ye, all of which. Duration of life, opulence, etc. Asmat pituhu, of our father. Hiraṇyakaśipu. Kupita hasa, by his critical laughing when angry. Vijambita, being expanded. Bru, of the eyebrows. Vispurjitena, being expanded. Bru, of the eyebrows. Vispurjitena, simply by the feature. Lulitaha, pulled down or finished. Saha, he, my father. Tu, but. Te, by you. Nirastaha, completely vanquished. Translation and purport. With His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. My dear Lord, people in general want to be elevated to the higher planetary systems for a long duration of life, opulence, and enjoyment. But I have seen all of these through the activities of my father. When my father was angry and he laughed sarcastically at the demigods, they were immediately vanquished simply by seeing the movements of his eyebrows. Yet my father, who was so powerful, has now been vanquished by you within a moment. Purport. Within this material world, one should understand by practical experience the value of material opulence, longevity, and influence. We have actual experience that even on this planet there have been many great politicians and military commanders like Napoleon, Hitler, Shubhash, Chandra, Bose, and Gandhi. But as soon as their lives were finished, their popularity, influence, and everything else were finished also. Prahlāda Mahārāja formerly gathered the same experience by seeing the activities of Hiraṇyakaśipu, his great father. Therefore, Prahlāda Mahārāja did not give any importance to anything in this material world. No one can maintain his body or material achievements forever. A Vaishnava can understand that nothing within this world, this material world, not even that which is powerful, opulent, or influential, can endure. At any time, such things may be vanquished. And who can vanquish them? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, one should conclusively understand that no one is greater than the Supreme Great. Since the Supreme Great demands sarvadharmam parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja, every intelligent man must agree to this proposal. One must surrender unto the Lord to be saved from the wheel of repeated birth, death, old age, and disease. Omeganitivrandasya gananjana shalakya chakshulanmritamena tasmai shri gurave namaha mukam kritavachalam bhangam langaite girim yakipatamaham vande shri gurundiditananam vanshakabdribhisha kipasindubhivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Translation again. My dear Lord, people in general want to be elevated to the higher planetary systems for a long duration of life, opulence, and enjoyment. But I have seen all of these through the activities of my father. When my father was angry and he laughed sarcastically at the demigods, they were immediately vanquished simply by seeing the movements of his eyebrows. Yet my father, who was so powerful, has now been vanquished by you within a moment. So Prahlāda Mahārāja here is praying to continuing offering his prayers to Lord Nrsingadev, and today he is bringing up a very important points in that people in general, they want to be elevated in different ways. They want to go to the higher planetary systems for a long duration of life, or they want opulence or enjoyment. Opulence or enjoyment within this world. But Prahlāda Mahārāja is making the point that he has seen his father achieve all of this. He conquered everyone and everything, the whole universe. But he conquered the most powerful of personalities within the universe as well, like the demigods. So, but who were completely in fear of him. But all of that, all of his achievements were completely finished or destroyed or taken just within a moment. Lord Nrsingadev, he finished or vanquished him in a moment. So whatever people achieve in this world, and most of what people achieve is not anywhere close to what they want. Their idea of perfect material happiness, there's always some issue, there's always some problem that they deal with. Like Jugalakishore was telling me, he went to some fancy party. He had to go to take pictures, Brajamandala, and they both went there. And he was telling me that these people are very wealthy. I mean, there's like extremely wealthy. And they put on these fancy parties where they, all this expensive decorations and everybody's dressed up. And it's a real, I think it was a graduation of one of their children. So everybody's joyful, this and that, but sometimes we see that when people have wealth, they become bewildered. So the other son, he became bewildered, and I think I don't know if he committed suicide or he overdosed on, I think it was overdosed, taking too many drugs. So I was thinking about it, that just see they've climbed their way to the top of opulence and enjoyment, but this happens, their son dies, some tragic death. So in this way, there's always some issue. And even if we were to say there's no issue, it's temporary. could only go for so long. Or you have, or as Srila Prabhupada's mentioning, the issues at the end of the purport, saying old age, disease, and death. So yeah, we should understand by observing that material opulence, longevity, influence is temporary. And there's been great personalities. Srila Prabhupada mentions politicians, military commanders, Napoleon. Right? Where's Napoleon now? Hitler, Shubhash, Chandra, Bose. Interesting, Srila Prabhupada points him there. Gandhi. All of these people were extremely powerful, extremely influential. They conquered so much in their time. They had armies, they had thousands of people at their command, literally. And but as Srila Prabhupada points out here, that as soon as their lives were finished, their popularity, influence, and everything else were finished also. Of course, you have also the idea of them many of these big personalities, or the Prabhupada calls them great politicians and military commanders, they did a lot of terrible things. Some of them did good things, but some of them did terrible things, or a mix. So aside from them becoming powerful, influential, but with their death, that's all gone. But aside from their death, they have to experience all the reactions to their activities. Chad, do you think you could close that door that separates the Pujari room, and can you make sure those Pujari doors are closed too, the altar doors, please? So yeah, all of these great personalities, they came and they left, and some of them created a lot of issues, and again, had to suffer for that. So we should learn from that we also have to make a contribution, and of course we want our contribution to be a good contribution, not a bad contribution. We want to make a good contribution. We want to serve Srila Prabhupada. We want to follow his instructions. We want to please him. We want to follow the instructions of his followers. And by following him and following the instructions of his followers, we will attain perfection. And that perfection is not, building up our material opulence or longevity or influence, but that perfection is that in this life we experience love for Krishna, and in the next life we go to Krishna, we go to the spiritual world. That's the perfection. Not that we have like a flash in the pan, as Srila Prabhupada would say, this life is like a flash in the pan, which I guess when you're cooking there's sometimes a flash of fire or whatever. I think that's what he's referring to, right? Is he referring to? Yeah, sure. You want to say on the mic?
I would like to, but I don't know. It's also used, you're right, it can be used like that, but also in the old muskets, there was gunpowder that would flash and nothing would happen. So I think that's the reason the flash in the pan is there.
Okay.
But I could be wrong.
All right.
I've been such an AI.
I gotta be careful with AI.
Might come after you.
Yeah, so we're gonna look up Flash in the Pan, Bhajanarayan Swami's. Anyways, we'll see. So it's means it's a very quick, time goes by really quick. It's flash. So not that we just experience our life and, do some good things, do some bad things, and then in our next life we just kind of suffer those, but we achieve the perfection of attaining Krishna Prem, which is already there. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhika Vanoy Shavanada Shuddha Chitte Koridoy, that the love for Krishna is already there, but it is awakened by hearing and chanting about Krishna, Shravanam Kirtanam. So we achieve that, and then our next life we go to Krishna. So that's the idea. Did you find it? Nice.
The term flash in the pan originated sometime during the late 17th century when flintlock muskets were used. An attempt to fire a musket that resulted in gunpowder flaring up but no ball firing was referred to as a flash in the pan.
All right, there it is. So, in general, we have to be careful. It's like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he talks about this Bhakti Lata Bij. So, Brahmande Brahmate Kon Bhagavan Jiv Guru Krishna Prasade by Bhakti Lata Bij, that a conditioned soul is wandering from species to species, planet to planet, all over. And by the special mercy of Krishna, a fortunate soul, Bhagavan Jiv, they come in contact with a guru, a spiritual master. And by the grace of that spiritual master, they get the Bhakti Lata Bij. And by watering that Bhakti Lata Bij, well, specifically the guru connects that person to Krishna by the process of devotional service. And by watering that Bhakti Lata Bij, by hearing and chanting about Krishna, this plant grows. And eventually it produces the fruit of love for Krishna. So in that explanation, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining that sometimes weeds grow up along the creeper, along the plant. Everybody knows who gardens. This is what happens. You have to pull the weeds, or else the weeds will choke the plant or take all the water that the plant's supposed to get. So these weeds are described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, different material desires. And these desires, they originate, you could say, as seeds. And Srila Prabhupada would explain this bij to be like an idea, like advertising, for example. They plant seeds in people's mind, like, they make some cool, some amazing, some catchy advertisement, right? And people, oh, wow, that was interesting. Look at that advertisement. That's the whole idea. They have your mind for a few moments. I don't know how long a commercial is on TV. 20 seconds. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Okay. Ask AI. But they have a very short time to catch your attention. So they try to do something to, catch your attention. And one devotee was telling me he somehow or other he was living in Las Vegas. Jagannath Tirtha, actually, our old friend. He used to live in Las Vegas. He had some work out there. And he said, whatever, it was before he was a devotee, but he'd be watching TV and the commercials weren't normal commercials, just like really wild commercials, explosions, because, it's Las Vegas, so everything's kind of more. So they try to get our attention, and they do. They get our attention somehow or other, and they plant seeds, and the seeds are different. Okay, we'll buy this. The new phone's coming out. Oh, check it out. Buy this, or usually selling stuff, right? Or they show some mother crying and how her son was born with cancer, and how this hospital helped. St. Jude's Hospital helped, and you could help too, and please send the money. And so they're planting a seed, and then people are thinking about, I should do something good. And so in this way, in the material world, different seeds are planted. And you could say that by Maya's agents, there's seeds planted, seeds of the desire for material enjoyment. And therefore, we have to be careful that we burn those seeds, or as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he mentions them as weeds, that we pull those weeds. We detect them. We become gardeners, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a gardener. I think the name for gardener is Mali. I think it was Mali Chaitanya. Yeah, Mali Chaitanya. So we also have to be gardeners, in that we detect what needs to be pulled and what needs to be watered. And aside from being gardeners, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would say that, he also mentioned earlier in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that he's distributing these fruits of love of Godhead, and he's saying, well, how much can I distribute? Now, of course, he's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so he could distribute unlimitedly. But as a service for us, he actually ordered all men, women, children, that you take these fruits and you distribute them as well. Hare Krishna Mantra, Srila Prabhupada's books, the process of Krishna consciousness, love for Krishna. So yeah, we distribute those. So just like Maya's agents, they're planting seeds in people's minds. We also want to plant seeds in people's minds. We want to give them the idea of devotional service. I remember Shubhash Prabhu. He was mentioning one time how he was serving in Colorado, and in the temple there's only a few devotees, but they used to go out often on book distribution, Harinam, and they go to all different types of places. They'd be at the colleges, they'd be at different places all over the city. So then one particular person, he mentioned to Shubhash Prabhu, how many of you are there? I see you guys everywhere. See you here, I go here, you're there, I go, how many are you? And then Shubhash Prabhu, oh yeah, there's like 5 of us in the temple, something like that. And but they were out so much that was this person's impression. Which is an important thing, because if you want to plant seeds in people's minds, if you want to give people the right idea, which is that they should be Krishna conscious, we have to be out there. Just like in the advertisement, it's not that they just send one advertisement. I mean, they send like constantly, every day, yeah. Some are on a campaign. Like some of these advertising industries, people complain about, these guys are really, don't leave us alone. So we shouldn't feel that we're bothering people. Like that was brought up one time. Tripurari Swami Prabhupada, he was distributing books, early days, and he brought up to Srila Prabhupada that sometimes people they complain, they think we're bothering them. So how should devotees feel about that? What should devotees think? And Srila Prabhupada said, no, we're trying to give them Krishna, so we shouldn't feel that we're bothering them. We're actually trying to help them. So yeah, there needs to be a constant effort and, yeah, you could say advertising campaign for Krishna, for Srila Prabhupada. And over time, people, because a lot of times people seem, at least some people, they tend to be, what do you call that word? Well, they tend to see things as signs. What do you call that? What do you say?
Premonition? Indication?
They say, not superstitious. Like if I meet somebody, if I meet Govardhan out on the street and he gives me a book, and then 1 month later I meet Dvijamani at La Jolla Cove, and then he gives me a book, and then I say, oh, this is a sign, I should come to the temple. I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for. But people tend to see things like that, at least some people. So the more people can meet devotees, the better. Because eventually they'll think, you know what, this is a sign. I should just come by the temple. And also sometimes people just need a little push. Like it's quite common actually, or at least I've heard a few times, like one person, she goes to the lounge, she was saying that she kept the Krishna Lounge flyer on her car dashboard for like a year. And she was just thinking about it. And Mukunda Charna Prabhu also, he got a card at Balboa Park, and he kept it for a year, and he was thinking of coming. So in this way, if the people who've kept the card for a year, for example, if they meet a few other devotees and they're like, oh, here's another card, all right, it's a sign, okay, I'll go. It's like so that's important. That's an important point. Of course, some people are quicker than others. Like we have this fellow, he came with his friend on Thursday. I asked him how did he hear about the lounge, and he said that Govardhan gave him a book at Balboa Park. And I said, when did he give it to you? And he said, oh, he gave it to me today. I said, wow. It's like, that was really quick. It was really quick. I'm impressed. And I told him that you came really quick. And he's like, yeah. He's like, tell the truth, I don't really meet so many people who are like spiritual. So I met him, and I think it's at 8:30, Money B.
Yep. I don't open the cards at 8:30?
Yeah, 8:30. He just looked like he was going to blow the conch. That's why I was saying that. So this person, yeah, they came together, and I was telling him, yeah, how I was impressed he came so quick, and he was saying that he doesn't really meet many spiritual people, and he was also mentioning how he doesn't meet people who can answer his questions. It's an interesting point. Because it's true, you speak with some people and they can't answer the questions. It's not uncommon for people not to be able to answer questions. Even they may be participating in they might be participating in rallies and protests and so many things. They say, well, what are you here for? And it's interesting what people respond. They're just, I'm not sure, everybody else was kind of coming. I just thought I would join the party. What to speak of some philosophical questions and this and that. What's the goal of life? Just go on Pacific Beach and interview people. What's the goal of life? You'll be surprised what you hear. And the fellow, he went on to say that he's an intelligent guy. He went on to say that he didn't like this idea of the general modern mainstream. It's not the complete picture, but it's the general picture that people paint of the Christian God, or the God of Christianity, or the description of God in Christianity. And he was saying he had a real problem with this eternal hell principle. He really had a problem. And he said that actually, if God was like this, he said, I'm more merciful than God, because I wouldn't do such a thing. Send somebody to hell. So, smart guy. So in this way, whether they show up immediately or they take some time, the idea is there to try to give them the right idea. Of course, the right ideas are in Srila Prabhupada's books. But simultaneously, this seed principle, we have to be careful because we're in the material world, and you and you have all these people trying to plant seeds. They're trying to, whether they consciously or unconsciously doing it, they're doing it. That's what's going on in the material world. There's the seed of material sense gratification. There's the seed of this, seed of that. There's different weeds. So we have to be careful. So Vaishnava can understand that nothing within this world, not even that which is powerful, opulent, or influential, can endure. So therefore they don't strive for these things like materialists do, but they strive just to please Krishna, just to please their spiritual master. They strive to try to help people, because this is the most important thing, not these other things which are, temporary and unsatisfying. So at one particular point, these things will be vanquished, and they're vanquished by Krishna, either personally or in the form of time. Time and tide, right? Wait for tide, the ocean tide. Doesn't wait for anyone. You can't go. You go out to the ocean, go out to the beach here, Pacific Beach. You may stand there, and of course, we would say it's a symptom of insanity. But stop. You may. Yeah, wait a few minutes. Yeah, wait. But it's not waiting. Tide doesn't wait. Time doesn't wait for anyone. Of course, Chandra was there. Chandra, he was going to cross over to Lanka, and it said that with his burning red eyes, because he was so angry, he was going to go kill Ravana, but it started heating up the ocean, and the aquatics were there, and Vruna, so, of course, but for an ordinary person, ocean or anything else won't wait. So therefore, intelligent person, they'll conclude, okay, sarvadhamam prityaja, mamekam sharanam vraja. I should surrender to Krishna, and I should not surrender to anything else. There's many things to surrender to in this world. I should not surrender to anything else or anyone else. I shouldn't accept anything else or anyone else as my shelter, but I should accept Krishna as my shelter, and I should surrender into him. And Srila Prabhupada, quoting this particular verse, or in the purport of this verse, Sarvadhamam prityaja mamekam sharanam vraja, in the Bhagavad Gita, he mentions, I don't know if he mentions the full 6 principles of devotional service. I don't know, maybe I'm just not exactly seeing how the sixth one is there, but he does mention the symptoms of surrender. And for every positive, there's a negative, just like there's 10 offenses to the holy name, to blaspheme the devotees, to different offenses, to be inattentive. So there's a positive and a negative. So the negative is, okay, well, don't offend the devotees. So the positive is, okay, well, serve the devotees. Negative, do not be inattentive. Okay, positive, be attentive. So similarly with these 6 symptoms of surrender, we can analyze within ourselves how we're doing in this regard, because these 6 symptoms you could say are positive, but there's also negative, or there's an opposite of them. So for example, humility, dainya, which is an important principle, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says we should string that around our neck, that verse, Trinadit Peace Nuchena. One devotee got a tattoo. Now, of course, if it was only so easy, right, just to get a tattoo, right, all right. But it's a nice sentiment, and but the opposite is that, okay, I'm the Lord and master of all I survey. It doesn't necessarily mean the supreme Lord, but, lowercase Lord. Surrendering oneself to Krishna, Atman Nivedanam. So the opposite of that, of course, Hiraṇyakaśipu has all of these opposites to the highest degree. But we have to be careful that we, don't have the opposites, and we work on getting rid of them or whatever. So the opposite of that is, I am independent, I will attain everything I want through my own efforts and abilities. 3, accepting Krishna as one's maintainer. The other opposite is that I am the creator of my own destiny. By my own power and resources, I will maintain myself. I have a very healthy bank balance. Having firm faith that Krishna will protect one. The opposite of that is, I can protect myself and all who take shelter of me. 5, rejecting activities that are unfavorable to devotional service. The opposite of that is, I have no real interest or belief in God. I live by my own rules and I am happy. 6, accepting activities that are favorable for devotional service. The opposite of that is, I will do whatever favorable supports my interest, position, wealth, property, and prosperity. So the different devotional principles, or aspects of surrender, or all the different aspects of Bhakti Yoga that Rupa Goswami outlines, the 64 most important principles. Of course, in some sense, he boils those down to 5, the 5 most potent forms of devotional service: chanting the holy names, worshiping the deity, residing in a holy place, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, and associating with the devotees. There's a proper way and improper way to do all those, and if we do those the proper way, according to Srila Prabhupada's teaching, then we will get the result. Does anyone have some question or comment? Go, we're done.
Quick comment on advertising. I remember reading a fascinating account, I don't know if they do it so much anymore, called subliminal advertising. Especially in movie theaters. They would flash on the screen, you wouldn't even be aware of it, drink Coke, and they found that a good number of people would get up from their, after a while they get up and then they go out and buy a Coke, or something like that.
Yeah.
So I said, well, what's the analogy of that in our philosophy? And I was thinking how we're enjoying, don't listen to a kirtan sung by a non-devotee. Mm-hmm. It may sound very materially attractive,
mm-hmm.
but there's no bhakti under there. There's material desire that's coming through and affecting you. It's like milk that's touched by lips of serpent. Tastes the same, but it has a poisonous effect. So that's important, and it just the general principle is the association. Watch out for the association. May be very attractive, maybe but it's affecting you on a subtle level that's fatal.
Yeah, I could never really understand this principle of subliminal advertising. I could never really. I don't know. Maybe I didn't think about it much, which might be good. But yeah, they claim so many different industries do that, like Hollywood industry or the Disney industry. They get a lot of flack for subliminal advertising, which it's interesting because it's just so quick. You wonder if it doesn't register really, then how does it affect your mind?
but they're affecting you now.
Even if you don't really register it or you don't see
it's
it?
under there.
How many feet are registering right now? There, I'm looking at these. Hare Krishna. Yeah, there's so much more going on in the brain than they think. I mean, the more they learn, the more they realize how little they actually know about it. So right now, we've got all kinds of, I probably have 100 streams of information coming in. What's that smell? What's that sound? How does my toe feel? You know, somebody ticked me off on the way over here. I got so many things swimming around in my head. And I'm consciously thinking about one or two or three. I'm listening to you give class. Nice class. But there's all kinds of stuff, and you just have to trigger it. There's all kinds of stuff going on in the brain. Mm-hmm. So it's in there. There's a lot of stuff rattling around.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Govardhan.
Thank you, Balaram Prabhu. It's funny because I was at Bobo Park and I gave this stack of books to this family. The next day I went to La Jolla Cove and they said, "You already gave us one." I said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, unless you have a twin brother." You know, I said, "Unless you have a twin brother." And I told him I actually have a twin brother. And then,
Did you tell me you do have a twin brother?
yes, Mark. And then we were at Honolulu and we went to University of Hawaii and we distributed books there. There was this lady passing by and I said, "Excuse me," and she said, "No, you already gave me one at my school." Like that. And then another time, I was at, where was it? We were at UCSD, and then there was this young Indian boy. I said, "Excuse me," and he said, "No, you already gave me a book. Actually, you called me a fake Hindu." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Oh, I said I'm Hindu, but I don't really know anything about the scriptures like that." And then he said, that just stuck with me. So
Yeah. Nice.
That means he was remembering it. You made an impact on him. Rattled his cage.
Of course, you got to be careful with meeting people because you meet so many people and just may not remember them. It's a little challenging. You literally meet hundreds of people. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how many people you stop in a day. Sometimes they do that in big. I think big stores. They have somebody there clicking. See, they have a. How devotees sometimes chant clickers to count how many people go in the store. So it'd be interesting to see how many people you meet in general in a day. Hundreds or who knows. But it could be a little challenging because, it's like a big thing for them. They meet, they get a book, and then sometimes it's challenging to remember them. I remember there was one person, he came to the temple and he met one of the brahmacharis, and he just met him that day. It was that day. And he spoke with them for quite a long time, like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that. And they had a really deep conversation. And then he came to the temple and he waved at this brahmachari like, "Hey, hey, how's it going, buddy?" And the brahmachari was just like literally didn't remember him, like there was no emotion there, And the person like, "That's kind of strange," It was actually Mukunda. Mukunda came and met one of the brahmacharis.
I'll give you a quick one. Shiva Maharaj told me this. I think it was in Montreal. He was just about to get married, and he met the devotees, fell in love with Krishna consciousness, moved into the temple, and his fiancée didn't do it, wouldn't go with him, and he said, "It's me or Krishna," and she said, no, I can't do it. So then about 2 years later, he's on book distribution, and he walks up to a group of young people about his age, and he's talking to them, and one of the women says, "Don't you know who I am?" He said, "In all honesty, I don't." It was his fiancée. Wow. and he was saying how purifying Krishna consciousness was. He'd forgotten about the whole thing. He said it did shake him. He had to sit down for a minute or two, you know. But so I thought that was the classic, not remembering.
Yeah. It's amazing. Time is up. Okay. Grantrad Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.